The Berchinough Bridge in Chipinge is an engineering marvel. The 329-meter-long bridge is located near the diamond-rich area of Marange in the eastern part of Zimbabwe and connects Masvingo to Mutare and many other small towns in between. As a matter of fact, Berchinough Bridge is 118 kilometers from Mutare and 181 kilometers from Masvingo on the A9. A quick glance at this magnificent structure, which crosses the Save River, you would think it's only a few decades old, but it is in fact over 85 years old. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Marston, the Zim Tech guy. Please consider partnering with me on Patreon. From as little as $3, you can help me improve the quality and consistency of videos on this channel. On that note, help me thank my biggest Patreon, Tom Bodkin. Thank you so much for the continued support. The bridge was built as a gift from the Bait Trust to provide the region with access to the then important markets of Salisbury, which is now Zimbabwe's capital of Harare, and the city of Bulawayo, and the Union of South Africa, present day the Republic of South Africa. Planning and funding for the Berchinough Bridge was provided by the Bait Trust, a trust which was formed in 1906 following the death of Alfred Bait as part of his will. Alfred Bait was a German-born gold and diamond magnate in South Africa. He made his money through mining activities, mostly at Kimberley. Alfred Bait was also friends with Cecil John Rhodes. One would say Rhodes was the active politician and Bait provided a lot of planning and financial backing. You can watch my video on the colonization of Zimbabwe. I'll leave a card above. Upon Bait's death, the Alfred Bait Trust, or simply Bait Trust, was formed, according to his will, specifically to establish the Bait Railway Fund to promote the development of regional communications, mainly in southern and northern Rhodesia, as well as Nyasaland. The will also provided, if at a later stage the trustees should decide that the fund was no longer needed for its primary purpose, that the income could be applied to education, public and charitable purposes. It is from this background that plans were hatched for the construction of the Berchinough Bridge. The bridge was funded at a cost of £145,000, which is approximately £7,346,000 in today's money. Planning was done by the Bait Trust, which was chaired at the time by businessman Sir Henry Berchinough, whom the bridge would eventually be named after. The bridge was designed by Ralph Freeman, who was also the structural designer of the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia, which explains why the two bridges bear a close resemblance, although Berchinough is a third shorter than the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Construction on the Berchinough Bridge started in April 1934, and the contractors were Dorman Long and Company Limited of Middlesbrough, England. By November 1934, they were ready for steelwork. Material was delivered to the west bank of the river by road, and the steelwork from the east side was carried across the river by a cableway. The arch span was completed on June 17, 1935, and the concrete roadway was practically complete at the end of September 1935, being open to traffic December 20, 1935. The time occupied by the entire construction being 20 months. It was built with the latest high tensile steel at the time as a single span to avoid the necessity of making piers in the riverbed, which was found to have shifting sands. The total weight of steel is 1,500 tons, and it is worth noting that this is the same weight as that of the Victoria Falls Bridge, which was constructed in 1905, designed originally for 2 lanes of light rail traffic, but less than half the span of the Berchinough Bridge. At the time of completion, the Berchinough Bridge was the third largest single arch suspension bridge in the world, only surpassed by the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia and the Bayonne Bridge in the United States. Berchinough Bridge was officially opened on the 20th of December 1935 by Sir Herbert Stanley, Governor of Southern Rhodesia at the time. Sir Henry Berchinough, chairman of the Bait Trust, from where the bridge's name is derived, died in 1937, and his ashes were buried beneath the structure of the bridge. Now, it's worth noting that besides the Berchinough Bridge, the Bait Trust is also responsible for constructing the Bait Bridge, which connects Zimbabwe to South Africa, over the Limpopo River, and the Otto Beit Bridge, which was opened in 1939, which spans the Zambezi River between Zambia and Zimbabwe at Chirundu, as well as other bridges in Zambia and Malawi. In the 1970s, a 40-ton load limit was imposed on the bridge, and in 1984, the bridge was widened from 7.2 meters to 10 meters and strengthened as part of the World Bank's Highway Project 1. But in 2000, its load capacity was reduced and only vehicles weighing less than 25 tons are allowed to cross. Recently, the Zimbabwean state media reported that the iconic Berchinough Bridge is on the verge of collapse following years of non-servicing. The bridge has now been turned into a one-way passage for vehicles weighing less than 25 tons, as assessment of the structures revealed that it could pose danger to motorists if the weight restrictions were not adhered to. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, see you in the next video.